I bought the cheapest single cut style guitar money can buy, and it was so cheap I had to build it myself. Today I'm gonna tell you how that went, the good stuff about this guitar, the bad stuff about this guitar, and the outright and ugly stuff about this guitar kit rather. This is the Harley Benton single cut DIY kit, and if you spent any time browsing Thomann, you've probably seen something like this. Maybe you've seen this particular one, or maybe the Strat or the Tele one, and have thought to yourself,
hey, this is cheap, it looks fun to build, and I may get a good guitar out of the deal.
well, here's how that went for me. Okay, so I got the Harley Benton single cut DIY kit. We have a German manual and an English manual. This is what it's supposed to look like. Provide the following tools and materials for assembly of the guitar. Phillips screwdriver, I got that. Rubber mallet. There's rubber there. Ring spanner. Shit, I don't have that either. It says to start with the tuners. This goes like this, and we just do a little tidy. Okay, now let's do this 5 more times. Oh shit, am I missing a washer? No, am I missing a washer, really? Okay, so this did not come with one of the washers. Luckily, I think I have a washer just like this. Let me check.
A few minutes later.
Is it the same washer and is it gonna look ugly? That's my question. That's how you keep old parts, kids. I don't know, if you don't have spare washers, this would have been not like the biggest problem in the world, because I mean, you can put this on without the washer, but it's gonna look ugly and you're gonna damage the wood below it. Okay, we're done with this. Let me read the instructions, because I think if I fuck up this part, the guitar is gonna be unusable. So, on a suitable working surface, use a soft pad in order to avoid damage to the surface.
Insert the knife into the neck out. If necessary, use a sharp chisel or sandpaper to adjust it.
Okay, so it basically just says put it in, and if you have to, remove material. I mean, it's inside as far as I'm concerned. So it's at the next part. I think it's the electronics which I'm most worried about. Let's try and wire these. Oh, they are already soldered. Wait, that's so sick. Are they really already soldered? Damn, this is smart. This is very cool. Okay, so first I'm supposed to just put some wires through the thing. So I thought I'd show you this. This thing has to go through that little hole right there, and that's gonna be very fucking annoying. I'm not gonna do some pretty cable management here, because I am pretty sure I cannot. I'm not gonna put the things for the straps because I play mostly sitting down. Okay, so first up I wanna do the jack. It would have been nice if they organized the screws, because right now it's just a bunch of screws. I don't know what for where. At this point I am just grabbing random screws. Now let's put on the pickups. There's just a ton of wire in this guitar, dude. Like, actually, I think the guitar should be working now, so maybe we should test it. And this guitar actually comes with a little cable, which is gonna come in very handy right now. Okay, so we did everything correct and everything works. Damn, I honestly did not expect this. I think it's ready. I'm not gonna put the pickguard on. Let's maybe just put the... Actually, don't really like this, so this guitar is gonna be knobless for now. Right, so let's put the bridge on and we're pretty much gonna be done. So this is where the rubber mallet... Right, okay, so how do we DIY a rubber mallet? Like this. Right, let's put the strings on it and see what this guitar is all about. Yeah, these strings are pretty cheap. Really quick first impressions of this guitar. I just played around with it, I tuned it up, I put the strings on, tuned it up. It came really well adjusted, the neck. I did have to raise the bridge here a little bit. This part, I did have to raise it up a little bit just with these screws, because the action here was way too low and it was buzzing. One very sucky thing is the frets are really scratchy. Yeah, dude, it's an okay guitar. I mean, I'm gonna spend a few more days with it, try to see what I like about it, what I don't like about it, maybe how I can make it better, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you my opinion. We're gonna play it, we're gonna do a demo track, which you're probably gonna hear right now. the positives. First up, this thing was indeed really easy to build and I had a lot of fun doing it. If you love doing stuff with your hands, you're gonna enjoy building this too. Something that I really like about it, that is actually one of the main reasons I went with the single cut model instead of the Stratter the Tele one, is that the headstock is pre-cut. If you go with one of the other kits, you will have to draw and cut out and sand the headstock to a more desirable shape, whereas here it's just already done for you. Now, something that surprised me about this guitar is how well it was set up right after I assembled it. I literally just screwed the tuners on, screwed the neck on the body, hammered in the bridge, strung up the guitar, and it was in almost perfect shape, which was really weird. The fretboard, other than having no dead spots, also looks really good in my opinion. I would have assumed that for something like this, Harley Benton would go with like a cheap, very light rosewood knockoff. But no, this Amaranth actually looks really dark, almost black even, which gives it sort of a Les Paul custom-ish vibe. The trapezoid inlays are also really aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. If this guitar had dot inlays, it would have looked god-awful ugly. And I mean, we're talking about positives of a Harley Benton guitar. Of course, one of them is gonna be the diabolically low price tag. This guitar at the time of this filming clocks in at $113 or 109 euros, which is a great transition to me talking about the bad things about this instrument. I mean, it's a $100 guitar. It's gonna have its downsides. First up, and the worst offender of them all, are the sharp, and I mean sharp fret ends. They're not unplayable. I mean, I did record a demo track for this guitar without cutting up my hands or anything, but it is annoying and it can be painful if you like rub the fret the wrong way. While we're on the topic of bad fretwork, some of the upper frets are really scratchy. Now, this was way more apparent to me right after assembling the guitar, so I don't know if I polished them by playing it or if I just grew accustomed to the scratch, but I'm definitely gonna try to polish them some more so there's no scratch left at all. Again, not unplayable, but really annoying. The frets themselves are also really small. I don't mind that at all, but I know some people hate small frets, so I thought I should say this. One thing that is really easy to fix, but it's holding this guitar back tremendously, are the complete garbage strings that it comes with. I really don't know why strings like these exist. I mean, putting a set of like the cheapest possible Ernie Ball or the Darius on this guitar would have made it cost $10 more, worst case scenario. And I get that for somebody looking at like the cheapest of the cheap guitars, that might be a deal breaker, but a set of proper strings would have made this guitar so much more enjoyable to play. Because these things are just awful. Another really easily fixable problem is the fretboard is a little bit dry. It was a little bit drier when I got it in the house. I think the humidity here kind of cured this problem a little bit, but it could still use a touch of O2 Dunlop conditioner thing. Now, I'm not usually one to care about neck joints. I'm not a whittler per se, and even when I pretend to be one, blocky neck heels don't bother me at all, but if you are sensitive to that kind of stuff, this one you're not gonna like. On the electronic side of things, I did not ground the guitar properly. That's entirely my fault. Something that is not my fault though is that the pots are a little bit scratchy. Hi, this is me about an hour after filming the video that you're watching right now. I am, as you can see, trying to film and I'm trying to record and show you how the pots on this guitar are scratchy, how I didn't ground it properly. But it turns out that was a blatant lie. I don't know if I just knocked the guitar in a certain way that made my grounding issue disappear and the pots just stopped scratching from like use. I'm really confused. I swear to God the guitar wasn't grounded properly yesterday. If anybody knows what's probably going on here, please let me know down in the comments. But yeah, electronics are perfect. Also, I feel like I should emphasize this. When I got this guitar, one of the washers for the tuners was missing, which if I didn't have one on hand would have been a very annoying problem. And those are all the bad things about this guitar. What I want to do now is I want to rip off Doug Demrule and give this guitar a score. I don't have a fun name for my system like Doug Score, but I do want to start doing this in all my gear videos, so I begin to create a little baby database. And you guys have something to reference my opinions against in numbers and not just words. I mean, it's still mostly words, but there's numbers behind the words, and there's one number, so. Here is my score for the Harley Benton single cut kit. For looks, I'd give it a middle of the road meh. It doesn't come with a finish, but it does look okay, even without one, in my opinion at least. The neck is a meh as well. The maple it's made out of feels really cheap, and it's a bit too thick even for my taste, but it has no big deal-breaking issues. The frets are bad, their ends are sharp and they're scratchy. Yes, the guitar has no dead spots, but this is not acceptable fretwork in my opinion. The hardware hardware on this guitar is meh, just regular cheap hardware, nothing to write home about. It does its job almost okay. The tuning stability is also a meh. The guitar does stay in tune, I don't have to tune after every take, but a better nut or at least a bit of graphite there I think may help it. The setup is good. I mean, this is a non-assembled guitar and the intonation, the truss rod are fine, so let's give it that. The cool factor is good as well. It's fun to build your own guitar, but it's not a concept no one's ever heard of before. The electronics are meh. They're actually good. They're not meh. The pots are not scratchy. I'm reminding you. The price, which we already discussed, is great, and after some math, this puts this guitar at
35
out of a possible 50 points. I'm gonna deduct some points though for the missing tuner washer, which will put it at 30 out of 50. But I really want to make this guitar better, and to do that, I'm gonna start by painting it. I've never done that before, so I'm curious as to how that's gonna go. After that, with my very limited experience and with a very limited budget, I'm gonna try to fix all of the issues of this guitar. I'm gonna try to round the fret ends, polish the frets, and finally put some acceptable strings on this guitar. If you want to see how that's gonna go and whether I succeed in doing that and turning this into an amazing, playable, great instrument, or if I'm just gonna completely fucking ruin it, subscribe because that video is coming out very soon. Bye bye.